Yo, what is up, YouTube? Lee the Captain here, and I believe that the time is coming for SUI. And why do I say this? Because I believe that SUI during the next bull run could hypothetically at least go to the price of $20, and during the process, make all of those SUI critics come running over to their girlfriend's boyfriend's grandma and start begging for that used lingerie set Taylor Swift edition. If you know, you know. And even though that's neither grandma, baby mama, nor financial advice, in today's video, I want to explain several factors which I believe could very well allow SUI to hypothetically attain the price of $20 during the next bull run. And a major reason why I think that could happen, I think is going to boil down to the amazing fundamentals of SUI. You know, SUI, in my opinion, is one of the best layer 1 blockchains out there. SUI is innovative, it's highly decentralized, highly scalable, and even according to SUI themselves, they claim that SUI redefines asset ownership. I think that SUI is very fantastic. And now when I say this, some people, their main argument for SUI is the fact that, oh, there's too many layer 1 blockchains out there. Why do we need another one? How is there room for something like SUI to succeed in the long term? And for the people who say this, my response is this. Because if we take a look at it, first of all, the blockchain technology market by 2030 is anticipated to be worth over $1.4 trillion. That's a very crazy amount. That's bigger than a lot of countries' GDP. And the reason why I mention this is because when a market is anticipated to be that massive, that's what she said, you know, I think at that point, there's going to be room for everyone to eat. For instance, much like in the world of cars, right? You take a look at how there's so many car brands out there. There's Volvo, BMW, you take a look at Volkswagen, Mercedes, Tesla, Rivian, you name it. There's so many out there. But why are each of these car companies able to prosper? Why are they still able to generate billions of dollars in revenue? And why are they still able to hire thousands, if not in some cases, tens of thousands of employees? Why is that, right? It's because the car market, it's so massive. There's room for everyone to eat. You know, a car brand, it doesn't need 90% market share, for instance, to be successful. You know, that'd be great, but even just having a couple percent, that's already amazing. Much like in the world of blockchains, in my opinion. Yeah, sure, there's other blockchains out there, right? You take a look at Avalanche, Solana, you take a look at Ethereum, Arbitrum, but I think that there is still room for SUI to succeed. You know, SUI doesn't need 90% market share. A couple percent will do just fine. And now that actually brings me to my next point, which is why I think SUI is a lot better than the majority of the competition. For instance, I think that SUI is a lot better than Ethereum because a lot of people out there, they seem to think that Ethereum, for whatever reason, is the best layer 1 blockchain out there. But I disagree because when you take a look at it, Ethereum, it's not scalable as of right now, which I think is a major issue. You know, according to Ethereum's very own co-founder, Charles Hoskinson, who also happens to be the founder of Cardano, I like to call him Charles the Great. You know, according to Charles the Great, it may take Ethereum potentially up to 5 more years to become scalable, which is way too long. You know, in the world of cryptos, that's like dog years, if you know what I mean, right? You know, in the world of blockchain technology, things move very fast. So if a layer 1 blockchain, in my opinion, is not able to innovate, it's going to be left behind, which I think Ethereum is in terms of fundamentals. You know, in terms of fans, in terms of ecosystem, it hasn't left it behind. But in terms of fundamentals, I think it has, because not being scalable as a layer 1 blockchain in 2023, nearing 2024 at this point, that's completely unacceptable. Furthermore, gas fees on Ethereum, I mean, carajo, they're crazy. You know, if you want to send some ETH over to your baby mama, man, that's going to be a nightmare because the gas fees, they're just going to cook the person who wants to send some ETH over to the baby mama. However, on the flip side, you don't see any of that type of nonsense going on with SUI. You just don't see it. Highly scalable, and gas fees, they're not crazy like Ethereum. You don't see any of that type of nonsense. Furthermore, when we take a look at the BNB Smart Chain, for instance, just last year, over 20% of the crypto hacks that happened actually occurred on the BNB Smart Chain ecosystem. And what is that all about? You know, how is the BNB Smart Chain that huge? That's what she said. But having all of these type of nonsense go on with it makes no sense in my opinion. Again, I think that SUI is just a lot better than the competition. The way I view it is that SUI, it's like a 6-inch bratwurst. You know, it may not be the biggest out there, but fundamentally, it's the best. It's going to work at Costco, going to work at Walmart, In-N-Out drive-thru, Chipotle when you're waiting in line, you name it. You know, Ethereum, BNB Smart Chain, They're like a 12-inch bratwurst. That's only going to work when the room is dark and when there's no one watching. What's the point in that, in my opinion? We want one that works at Costco, Walmart, you name it, IKEA. You want one that works in all places. You want something that's extremely revolutionary. I would much rather prefer a smaller bratwurst as opposed to a big piece that's not going to really work anywhere, right? Just imagine having a car that has a V12 engine, but then the car breaks down 69% of the time. What's the point in that? Much rather prefer a V8 that's going to work 100% of the time, if that makes sense. And also, just on a side note, I think that SUI has an impressive website. If I take a look at Apple's website, it looks clean. It looks very intuitive, but much like SUI, a lot of other projects out there, in contrast to SUI, they're just not that good. When I take a look at other projects, sometimes their website, it looks like it was made in someone's basement. It's that bad. It looks very tacky. It looks like just very caca overall. But that's not the case when it comes to SUI. Website is very professional. And I think having a very professional website, while it may seem very, minute, I think it could really help it moving forward. Because take a look at, for example, potential enterprises that are looking to partner up with SUI. If they're looking to partner up with SUI, of course, right, they're going to check out the website. They're going to check out, the visuals of it, because let's face it, visuals matter a lot. So when a project has a very bad website, that's alarm bells in my opinion, because it shows that they don't care. Because come on, right? How can they not make a good website? It makes no sense. Visuals matter a lot. Think about this, right? If I was boarding a plane and let's say the pilot had a tie-dye tank top, he was using a flip-flops, right? And he had a ponytail and he was using pink sunglasses. He may be the most qualified pilot out there, but would I feel safe? That's a different question. That's why I think visuals matter a lot. First appearance does matter, and I think that's why SUI understands this, and that's why I think SUI is fantastic. They understand this concept. Furthermore, something that really gets me excited for the future of SUI is the fact that on its ecosystem, we will find many amazing projects that are related to NFTs and DeFi, which I think could be so bullish for its future because the NFT market over the next 7 years is expected to be worth over $211 billion, according to Grandview Research. In addition, when it comes to DeFi, over the next 7 years, also according to Grandview Research, is expected to be worth over $230 billion in terms of market size. So when you take a look at it, NFTs and DeFi, it's no joke. And I think that moving forward, as these markets continue to grow, I think it's going to do absolute wonders for amazing blockchains, much like SUI, that do have many fantastic NFT and DeFi projects on its ecosystem. And I think that a major catalyst, which could very well allow SUI to hypothetically attain the price of at least $20 during the next bull run, is the fact that I do think that the next bull run will be very different from the bull runs we've seen in the past. And why do I think this way? Because there's currently more people than ever before in history owning cryptos. And no, that's not a joke. Even when compared to the 2021 bull run, there's over 100 million new crypto owners right now when compared to that time. So you gotta let that sink in, right? The FOMO, buying pressure, buying volume, and as well as the altcoin season looked out of this world in 2021. It looked crazy, insane, despite having that many less people owning cryptos. So what would the next bull run look like? Especially now that we have this many people owning cryptos. I mean, man, I really do think that all of the FOMO, all of the buying pressure, buying volume, and as well as the altcoin season we saw it back in 2021, I think that could very well be amplified in such an amazing way during the next bull run. I really do believe that. There's just so many people owning cryptos as of right now. And let's not forget, enterprise adoption is also better than ever before. There's more enterprises adopting blockchain technology when compared to 2021. So when I consider all of those positive factors, I mean, man, during the next bull run, that's going to Sizzler time right there. That's time to order the surf and turf, time to go to Applebee's, Ruth's, Chris, you name it, Marie Callender's. Man, it's party time, because when altcoins start rallying, I think so will amazing cryptocurrencies, much like SUI. I think SUI could have such an amazing bull run ahead. So when I take that into consideration, and when I consider the incredible A+ fundamentals of SUI, I don't see why SUI during the next bull run won't hypothetically at least go to the price of $20. At least that's the way I view it. And of course, I'm dollar cost averaging into SUI. I don't day trade. I don't swing trade. I don't use leverage. I don't do any of that type of stuff whatsoever. I'm keeping it simple. Anytime I earn any sort of income, I set aside some for SUI. And it doesn't even matter if the price of SUI that day is pumping or dumping. It doesn't matter. I'm just focused on accumulating slowly but surely over an extended period of time. I'm focused on time inside the market as opposed to timing the market, if that makes sense. I'm not predicting what happens to the price of SUI in the next hour, the next 2 days, or whatever. I could care less about that. I'm focused on more for the long term. I'm focused on the next bull run. And that's why, again, I'm dollar cost averaging. Anytime I earn any sort of income, boom, I set aside some for SUI. It doesn't matter. Quite essentially putting those horse blinders on and just focus on slowly accumulating more and more. And by doing so, I think that I'm protecting myself from a lot of potential risk because I'm not day trading or using leverage again, right? And also on top of that, I think that I'm preparing myself for the next bull run in such an amazing way. I can't wait for the next bull run. I'm so excited. And I think SUI is ready to shock the world during the next bull run and hypothetically at least go to the price of $20. And during the process, make all of those SUI critics come running over to their girlfriend's boyfriend's grandma and start begging for that vibrator Taylor Swift edition. And of course, the color is pink. I guess that's what maybe they might want to buy, right? Who knows? And if you want to check out a very interesting video, make sure to go ahead and click on this thumbnail right here. It's a very fantastic video, and I think you all would really love it. It's been Lee the Captain, and I'll catch y'all on the next one. I'm out. Peace. Bye.